Hi there, Brian Amico here from VectorVest, and tonight I want to walk you through the 3 steps to retire with peace of mind. They're the key pieces that every retiree should implement, and they make up what we call worry-free investing. By doing these 3 steps, you can retire with peace of mind knowing that you can grow your portfolio, generate income, and protect your capital. When I asked our clients how they wanted their life to be different 3 to 5 years from now, one of the most common things I heard was, I just want to relax. I don't want anything too special, I just want to live a comfortable life. Well, what could be holding you back from doing that right now? In other words, what could be the problem? Well, first off, your portfolio is going nowhere. You're doing a lot of work, but you're just spinning your wheels. It seems like every time you make some gains, shortly after that, your portfolio rolls right back, sometimes in a deeper hole than where you started. Second, you don't know what to do when things go wrong. My neighbor actually just told me a story where her 22-year-old daughter just got into a minor car accident, and she was shocked that her daughter had no idea what to do. So think about yourself. When the market and your stocks start to move against you, sometimes you freeze. And the other problem is you're just spending so much time trying to figure everything out. You feel if you can't get things fixed, you're not going to have enough money. The income stream is just rusted shut and you fear you won't be able to turn it back on. But it doesn't have to be that way. Instead of that happening, you want to grow your portfolio safely and steadily. You want to know exactly what to do when the market turns south. And you want something that just doesn't take a lot of time to do, so that when you retire you can relax and live a comfortable life. So let me ask you a question, and I want you to spend a few seconds and write down your answer. What would worry-free investing do for you? Okay, so now let's dive into the 3 key principles that you need. First off, you want to play it safe. You need to focus on buying safe stocks of companies with consistent, predictable financial performance. We did some research and we found that the stocks with the highest relative safety rating in our database had a 98% success rate of going up over time. What we did was, every day starting in 1996, we took the top 20 relative safety stocks and we tested their performance through 2015, and here's what we found. There were 4,697 trading days since our start date back in 1996. The top relative safety stocks went up in price 4,621 of those days. That's over 98% of the days. Our founder, Dr. DeLito, has always taught that good portfolio management starts with buying the right stocks. It's like filling your portfolio with all-stars. Just having those great stocks in your portfolio will help your portfolio do well over time. Here's how it works. When we signal a confirmed uptrend on the market, that lets you know it's safe to be buying high relative safety stocks. When we signal a confirmed downtrend on the market, that lets you know that you should stop buying. And at all times you will sell stocks once our system gives them a sell rating. By following this plan, since 1996, our test showed an annual rate of return of over 25%. So just by following key principle number 1 of playing it safe with high relative safety stocks, your portfolio can see steady appreciation over time. In addition to appreciation, you also need to generate some income, which brings us to key principle number 2, which is to get paid. You need to have a way to generate consistent, safe income. Capital appreciation is great, but you need a steady source of income every month to pay bills and do the things that you want to do. Think of it this way. A lot of investors focus solely on capital appreciation, which definitely should be one source of growing your money. If you also start to collect some nice safe dividends, you're now starting to generate some additional income. When you add selling options to the mix, you have really compounded the amount of income that you're able to generate. Here's an example. DHR was the second highest relative safety stock in the S&P 500 at the beginning of 2015. Let's say you bought 100 shares of it. Even though 2015 was a rough year, DHR ended the year posting over a 6% gain from January 2nd to December 18th. Well, in addition to that nice gain, DHR also paid a dividend and had the highest dividend safety rating a stock could get in our database. You would have been eligible for 4 dividend payouts throughout 2015, which added another $54 of income. In addition, you could sell covered calls since you owned 100 shares. On January 13th, you would sell a covered call with a $90 strike price, and you would have received $70. Since DHR didn't exceed $90 by the time it expired, you could then sell another covered call. So on March 23rd, you would sell another covered call and receive another $143 at that time. Then you could do it again on June 19th, and then you would receive another $123. And since the stock was below $90 when it expired, you could then do it again. So in September, on September 18th, you'd be able to sell another covered call. This time you generated $210. Now by that point, your 100 shares of DHR would have been called away from you at the $90 strike price since it was trading above $90 at expiration. But that's okay because you get to keep the $210. So look at it this way. If all you did was focus on stocks that didn't pay a dividend and you didn't sell covered calls, you would have gained $551 in this example. But by finding a stock that paid a safe dividend, you bumped up your gains to $605. And by adding in selling covered calls, you've now bumped up your total income to over $1,000. By focusing on all 3 things, you can see that you can really ramp up your income generation. The third key principle is to protect your assets. You want a way to protect your portfolio at times when the market shows signs of trouble. Why is this so important? Well, in 2008, many retirees saw their retirement accounts drop over 40%. At the beginning of 2016, the S&P dropped over 12%, leaving many retirees scrambling. And if you think about a typical $100,000 portfolio, that typical portfolio would have dropped almost $7,000 in the first month of 2016. So in cases like 2008, if you let your portfolio drop 40%, you need to gain 66% just to get back to break even, and that could take years to recover from. So you need to have insurance for your stocks and your portfolio so you are protected. Here's how it works. Well, your portfolio is made up of multiple stocks, right? When the market shows signs of trouble, such as a confirmed downtrend, what you could do is buy puts, which is an option trade, on those stocks. So if the stock drops, the puts would gain in value, offsetting some or sometimes all of the losses from your stock. Well, the puts cost money though. It's never fun spending money. As we just talked about, many times you're going to be selling covered calls on these stocks, so you could use the proceeds from those covered calls to help fund the purchase of the insurance for your stocks. And when you combine these 2 things together, it's called a collar. A second thing that you could do is treat all of your stocks as one entity. For example, maybe all of your stocks are in the S&P 500. If so, you could use an index such as the SPY, and you could buy a single put on that index to protect your portfolio, and you could then sell a call on that index to help fund the put. This is something we teach called collaring your portfolio. Remember earlier I said a typical $100,000 portfolio would have dropped almost $7,000 in the first month of 2016? Well, by collaring your portfolio, instead of losing $6,710, your insurance from that collar would have gained you $4,075, offsetting a majority of the losses. So you need to have a plan to protect your assets when the market shows signs of trouble. Alright, I want you to take about 60 seconds and pause the video and write down what's been the most valuable for you so far and why. Once you do, we'll look at what to do now. Now you know what it takes to retire with peace of mind. Let us help you implement these 3 key principles in your investing. Click the button below to try VectorVest risk-free for 5 weeks. We look forward to helping you become a worry-free investor.